To say the Home Secretary has said that she will now tighten the rules for migrants who claim that they are victims of modern slavery. This is, of course, in a bid to kind of stop the out of control, let's face it and call it what it is, the channel crossings. Nearly 33,000 people have crossed the channel so far this year, which is a record number. And I mean, I need to say it as it is. I do have to say, in my view, Scarlett, a lot of these people, in my view, seem to be playing the system.
Well, I think one of the things we have to remember is there is no safe legal route to claim asylum. You can't take a plane. You can't. There's nowhere to get. The only way that people can claim asylum is at the moment by crossing the channel. That's that, or coming in, you know, in trucks. I mean, it's if we had a decent asylum system that also worked fast. I mean, that's one of the most disgusting things. Is these people come over. The reason they're put up in hotels and in army barracks and wherever is because it takes years to process them. So we have a Home Office that isn't fit for purpose, as John Reid, the Labour person, said many years ago. It doesn't work properly. I mean, what we should be doing is we should be doing asylum claims properly, and we should also be. I mean, you know, we've now got Afghans coming over, Afghans who you know should have been allowed to come here properly, seeking asylum. We've got them crossing the channel. There is something really wrong.
Yeah, hang on, because the majority of people that are crossing the channel, let's be clear anyway, everyone that's doing that is crossing from France, which is a safe country in the first place. So that's my first point. My second point is they're mainly now Albanians and things like that.
They're not mainly Albanians. There are some Albanians. They've always been mainly people from the Horn of Africa, people from Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, from failed states. But I mean, the Afghans are now coming through. And what I'm saying is, what are we doing having Afghans having to cross the channel to claim asylum?
But where are you getting
the question I don't understand in this debate, sorry to interrupt, is that what are the French doing?
Nothing.
Exactly, this is the point. No one
that.
seems to want to answer this question. France is a safe haven. You seek asylum or refugee status in the first safe haven you get to, whereas the French just, like, go over to the UK. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't take our fair share, but no one seems to be willing to have this debate. Like, what are they doing? There's a complete dereliction of duty from them. They just, like, go over to the UK. It's a soft touch.
They are taking a lot of asylum seekers.
But why is it so easy for them to come over?
As are the Germans, right? And actually, I mean, GBNews did a thing about how difficult it is policing the Channel beaches, right? Because as soon as you move on, a boat comes. I mean, most of the people who come over have some links to Britain and speak English, right? That's why they want to come here and not France. It's not about being a safe country. But I am saying, what are we doing that, you know, that we have not found a way of getting Afghan asylum seekers to come to Britain safely and claim asylum?
But we aren't, right? So this is one of the things that I get confused about. You said that there's no safe and legal routes.
Yeah.
But there are. The UK resettlement scheme is one, community sponsorship scheme another, mandate resettlement scheme. I haven't finished yet. Hang on. Refugee family reunion, the Afghan citizens resettlement scheme, the Afghan relocations and assistance policy, and the immigration route for British national overseas status holders from Hong Kong. So there are.
So no, schemes. Hong Kong is not refugees, right? And the Afghan. I mean, most of the things you've named have closed, right? And the Afghan one, I mean, I think maybe there are 2,000. I mean, the numbers are really, really shocking.
So what's your answer then? So your answer is create. So what's Labour's position on this? Let me start by that.
No, I don't. I think Labour and I are not in complete agreement. I think Labour is much more where you are, and they're worried about the small boats, and they're not as worried. I mean, they're against Rwanda and think that the Rwanda flights shouldn't happen. But I just think we have to reform it and say, I mean, you know,
I think Rwanda's a great idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great idea. Because what you're saying is anybody who comes over will fly to Rwanda and they can never, ever claim asylum in Britain.
Yes, but then they'll get what they want if they're genuine asylum seekers, which is to be granted asylum in a safe country.
No, they want to claim asylum. I mean, people,
finish your sentence, because I know what you was going to say.
They want to claim asylum in Britain because they've got links here.
What links?
Well, often the language, and often people are already here.
How
Often
many
they've
of these
got family
Albanians
here.
got links here? It's 80%. The Home Secretary's saying this stat of 80%.
80% of people crossing the Channel are not Albanian. I mean, it is just not true.
The Home Office is saying that.
Well,
maybe
they're not. What she's possibly saying is that 80% of the people claiming domestic,
I can read the quote. I'll read the quote, the direct quote, so we're not misquoting her. She says, "Now, what we see is a majority of people coming here from Albania. Some 80% who are coming across on small boats are claiming to be victims of modern slavery." That's her words quoted directly.
Yeah, so I think, because I talked to your producer and said she's completely wrong about 80% of the people coming in small boats, and he said that's...
How do you know?
Because I've looked at Home Office figures.
What? So you're standing on the coastline in Kent with your clipboard and your pen.
I've looked at
counting
Home Office statistics.
Recent ones.
Yeah, in the summer, where the whole Albanian thing started. She's not. What she's saying actually is that 80% of the people claiming modern slavery are Albanian. She's not saying, because it is absolutely not true, that 80% of the people crossing are Albanian. There's no question.
So I do not worry. Where's my pictures of the hotel? Can I put these pictures back up on this screen, please? Because this is, I tell you, it irritates me. I'm going to say it as it is. We all sit there, lamenting the cost of living crisis that we're in right now. Look at this this is a 4-star hotel, describes itself as a luxury Victorian country mansion in Lincolnshire that has now been used to put up people that have crossed the Channel, or refugee families, whatever the official terminology is that I'm supposed to use these days. How can you look at that? I think that's okay.
I've said I think they should be processed much faster. I mean, I think
And put where?
What?
And put where?
Well, you can put them there for 3 or 4 weeks. The whole problem is that people seeking refugee status can be here for 5 years and they're not allowed to work, right? I mean, it is madness, our system. I mean, I think we should do it much more efficiently, and I think we should say, you're a refugee, you're not a refugee, you go. I mean, it's fine if they're not refugees, but I actually think that we should, there are masses of people in refugee centres that have been waiting years and years to
I can tell you there'll be masses of people that are sitting watching telly looking at that hotel who can't even afford their stuff at the moment, who think, actually, I'm one step ahead. I'm one step away from going over to France and getting on a boat if that's where I'm going to end up. Take some of their financial problems away, maybe. Giles... You're laughing, but
I'm not sorry. I was laughing at him.
Oh, right.
What's he done? Not laughing at you.
Yeah, what's he done?
At him. I was waiting to hear what he was going to say.
Go on, Giles. You tell me. I'm ranting on this because it irritates me, I have to say.
No, and clearly speed is a big issue here, and I think also there is an element, and I think the Legatum Institute today talked about the UK, EU and France setting up joint asylum processing centres to combat illegal crossings, and crucially taking their share of the burden here, because I do fundamentally believe the French are far too easy to say, look, come over here. Now, I'm all for skilled immigration, controlled immigration, but clearly we haven't got things under control. And also, I think at times the left do try and shut down having an honest, open conversation. It's not racist to be against unlimited immigration. We have an infrastructure in this country which can't cope. And you have had a situation, Home Secretary's pointed out, where you've had convicted murderers, paedophiles coming out of prison and trying to use the Modern Slavery Act as an excuse to stay in this country, which, quite frankly, is totally unforgivable and unacceptable.
So you've told me what your solution to this is, to have a better processing system for asylum claims. Yeah,
and actually, it would be for people to be able to claim asylum in their home country. So you can go to the British Embassy and claim asylum because you're worried about being killed in Somalia or Ethiopia or Afghanistan, frankly.
Would you put any caps on the number?
Well, the thing about refugees is we have to take them, right? That's all.
What, an unlimited number?
If you have proper refugees, it's never an unlimited number, right?
Why? Because the West can't help poking their nose in everywhere and creating displacements everywhere. So actually, when you say it's not an unlimited number, we see conflicts popping up all the time. And people wanting to move out, move on.
Well, I mean, but don't you think that we owe an awful lot of people in Afghanistan refugee status that we didn't give them? That we should have got them out. We should have got them out really early. I mean, I do think that where we've caused chaos, that you're right. That actually, I'm afraid that all the British, the people who were interpreting, all the people that we said that we'd help in Afghanistan, yeah, they have a right to come here.
And just briefly, what do you think then about this whole kind of burden of proof, being raised so that people have got to show more, prove more that they are the kind of, say, victims of modern slavery or whatever it is that they claim?
100% agree with it, because as I say, clearly there is this loophole in the system which is being exploited by people coming out of prison. So actually people shouldn't have any issue with it if they are a genuine asylum seeker.
And where are you on that burden of proof?
I would like to know how many people coming out of prison actually successfully claimed modern slavery rather than tried to claim. I mean, you do have to have some proof for modern slavery. What she's talking about really is the people coming over on their boats. And, I mean, what worries me is that, Theresa May put through the modern slavery thing, and it was bitterly fought over, and Theresa May absolutely ensured that it was not too strong. And I just think to water it down some more, what worries me is that we're just stopping people. And the modern slavery thing of women being trafficked here to get to work as prostitutes, right? I mean, you do need help. I mean, we need to stop it, right? But also those people are, that is modern slavery.
Yeah, do you know, I absolutely, to come back to your point, I think that everyone in genuine support should be helped by whatever means that is, whichever countries it is that's offering that support. My problem with all of this is not those people that need genuine help and support, it's the chancers that have realised that actually look at the life that you can get here, a beautiful, luxurious 4-star hotel. It's the people that are using social media as almost like some recruitment tool, a sales channel to try and recruit paying customers, because that is what these people have become. It's awful. This whole industry, and this is a multi-million pound industry now, and it cannot be beyond the wit of man to try and stop this. And the other multi-million pound industry, by the way, that's come off the back of all this, is all the legal stuff, all the lawyers that have been making an absolute fortune right now on some of these cases. Tell me your thoughts on it all. And do you have the answers? Because it's really easy, isn't it, to sit here and criticise, but what are the answers then? Why is nobody doing anything about it? Pete says, Michelle, this is very simple. Anyone that tries to cross this way should just be sent back to France. Well, it can't be that simple, Pete, or else it would be happening, wouldn't it? And it's not. Jerry is completely against this whole kind of raising the threshold for proving your kind of story, if you like. He says, once you start reversing the principles of justice so that the immigrants have to prove their innocence, where do you stop? Due to government creep, he says, it'll be you next that's having to prove your innocence in whatever it is. Do you think that? Do you think it'll be a slippery slope? I don't know. Tell me. Christine says, I have never understood why asylum seekers cannot be allowed to work. I don't know.
I completely agree with her. I think it's ridiculous.
Well, Scarlett thinks it's ridiculous. You certainly think it's ridiculous. The person that's just written in, Christine. What do the rest of you